I want to talk to you today about hope. Do you feel any hope right now? Hope. Let's rewind. Let's go back to March 15th. You remember March 15th? It was the day where we had our last in-person church gathering for a while, and we had to make the decision after church that Sunday to not meet in person for a while. And then the next day, March 16th, President Trump did a news conference and said, hey, we got 15 days to slow the spread. 15 days, no gatherings of over 10 people, and we gotta gather together and sacrifice for a little while. And at the beginning, in the month of March, there was this idea that, okay, we can have some shared sacrifice together. We can rally together. We can do this thing. We can stop this thing. We're Americans. We can do it. But that was the middle of March, and now it's the end of July. And I think that idea of rallying together has evaporated, and we're kind of in a place of disillusionment and discouragement and division, aren't we? As a nation, there's a lot of disillusionment with everything going on, and there's like this new TV episode. Have you noticed? On social media, a new TV episode which you and I are taking part of, and it's called Doctor Wars. Doctor Wars. My doctor, this doctor knows what's really going on with coronavirus. No, this doctor knows the truth about face masks. This doctor versus this doctor, and apparently all of us have become health experts, and we're disillusioned, divided. And I just want to talk about hope. Because we can't lose hope in the midst of this time. We need to remember a few things in the midst of everything we're going through. Is remember that God isn't surprised by any of this. That none of this surprises God. That 2020 was not a shock to God. And maybe God just wants to use this year that seems so awful to actually do some amazing things in our world. I've seen a lot of great things and people's lives impacted because of the opportunity that COVID-19 has provided. This crisis, though, will not last forever. Mass face coverings are not going to last forever. There's been worse times in the history of the world by far. Worse plagues. Worse times in the history of America. The Civil War, that was worse. The Great Depression, I think that was worse. World War II, worse. More death, more lives lost. We will get through this. We will make it. This is not a time to become just disillusioned and discouraged and divided. We're gonna make it through. 2020 is going to end eventually. Don't lose hope. And there's a couple scriptures from the New Testament book of Romans. The Apostle Paul writes about hope in the midst of some tough times, and he knew about tough times. He was in prison, he was shipwrecked, he was beaten, he was left for dead. He had his best friends turn on him, and people all the time betray him. He knew about being disillusioned and discouraged and divided. But a couple scriptures I want to share with you. Romans 12 through 13. If you don't know what to do in this moment, this is what you should do. Romans 12 through 13 says this: be joyful in hope, patient in affliction or suffering, faithful in prayer, share with the Lord's people who are in need, and practice hospitality. You don't know what to do right now? Besides look at social media and getting in fights about doctors and masks and YouTube videos that get deleted from the internet. If you don't know what to do, well, do this. Do this. Be patient in affliction. Be faithful in prayer. Share with those around you in need and practice hospitality, and all of that, you're going to find yourself finding some joy and hope. And then in Romans 15:13, Paul gives this benediction. I just love it. He says this: may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. May the God of hope, who's God? He's a God of hope. He's not a God of division. He's not a God of disillusionment. He's the God of hope. He's with you, and he wants to fill you with joy and peace as you trust in him. And so I want to ask you, what are you filling your soul with today? So easy. It's the lazy thing to do is to fill our soul with cynicism and fill our soul with anger and bitterness just being upset over everything going on in the world. And Paul says, no, I want you to be filled with the God of hope who wants to bring you joy and peace as you trust in him. Why? So that you could overflow with hope. I think we've lost some of that hope. We're overflowing with some things that don't actually look that great. And so, if you're a follower of Jesus, our calling, your calling, is to fill your soul with God. To ask him to fill you with joy and peace today. To focus on him. To be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer, to practice hospitality, share with those in need, that you may overflow with hope in this world. See, COVID-19, the election, all our cultural wars and tensions in this country, they don't get to have the say about what goes on in your soul. God can have the say about what goes on in your soul. Hope is not lost because hope is found in Jesus. Hope comes from God. May we be filled with the hope the Spirit of God brings. Have a great day, and may it be filled with hope.